Good evening and good morning, beautiful spirits. This is Myron Magnus. You listen to a segment. Let me slow down. You're listening to a segment of pure pugilism and boxing logic. What's up, fellas? I appreciate all of you guys. Let me say that first off. I appreciate every last one of you. There's so much going on in the sport of boxing. There is so much going on in the sport of boxing besides boxing. And that is what's crazy with the industry today. This video is just a spur of the moment thing. I'm not going to be talking long. I just want to say I thank you for all your support in the last video. Part 2 will be coming up tomorrow morning. Rant time, part 2. Yes, Deontay Wilder is Lord and scum. And I held back from uploading it because the last video was flagged by, I assume, somebody from Deontay Wilder's fan club or team, and they put an age restriction on it. So I was trying to be a little bit more savvy in the next one, and with my wordage, so that it would not be, the next one that I drop in the morning would not be flagged and put under an age restriction as well. But it's the main thing I want to talk to you guys about is the recent Anthony Joshua call out of Deontay Wilder. And I've been listening to a couple of channels, and from what I hear from, or should I say through the grapevine, there's a lot of people trying to say this is going to be a setup for a duck, and how the call out wasn't authentic and things of that manner, and that it's another thing, another ploy by Anthony Joshua or whatever to make it seem like he wants to fight Wilder instead of White or Chisora in that rematch. But what I haven't heard anybody point out is what Deontay Wilder, or really cue in on what Deontay Wilder said in a few interviews ago, when he said that, I don't know if it was with Seconds Out or whoever, but he said that he don't need Anthony Joshua. This is the words of Deontay Wilder. I don't need Anthony Joshua. My 39 knockouts, I guess, speaks for itself, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And I ain't heard nobody either from Joshua's side or Wilder's side point out the fact that by him saying something like this, I don't need Anthony Joshua, is also saying I don't need the 3 belts that he hold. You get what I'm saying? How is a heavyweight champion with only 1 strap, the WBC, going to say he do not need the super heavyweight champion that has the 3 straps, if he says his purpose is to unify the heavyweight belts, all the heavyweight belts? Nobody's calling that out. Deontay Wilder saying, I don't need Anthony Joshua, isn't that also saying, or could be taken as a duck, okay? Because it's a group of people that's saying Anthony Joshua is setting up to duck Deontay Wilder because he said, Wilder, step up, or White, or whatever. Because if not, by April 13th, I'm fighting White or Chisora. But they're not saying that when Deontay Wilder said, I don't need Anthony Joshua, my 40 wins and 39 KOs speaks for itself. They're not saying that that is setting up for a duck. So I'm here to balance and bring equilibrium to this conversation, because I never heard nobody point out or jump on him for saying that. So again, I'm Myron Magnus, pure pugilism, boxing logic. And for those who don't know, Magnus is a backronym. A backronym meaning manifesting altruistic greatness, now uniting spirits. So Wilder's saying he does not need Anthony Joshua. That is the words that describe someone setting up the biggest duck of all time. Because how can a man with one strap says he doesn't need the man who has the 3 straps? That is ludicrous, okay? Next point that I want to get on, and it's on the negotiations of this fight and how it should break down, and perhaps how this, what I'm about to present, can be possibly used in similar situations like this, where one fighter is pretty popular, being Joshua, and another fighter is relatively a little popular. Not really popular, but a little popular. You know what I'm saying? But where this guy who's a little popular, or should I say, kind of popular, there's more potential for him to make money where he's from. There is potential to make money with a guy who's very popular from, and which is being the United States versus the UK. And this is not trying to create a debate, but I'm saying we all know, everybody should know, the United States, okay, is the capital of boxing in this world right now. There is a transition now that could be shifting to the UK. But with all respect, not just America, we talking about the Americas, not just the United States. We mean the Americas. The Eastern Hemisphere versus the Western Hemisphere. The money is still on the Eastern Hemisphere, people. Okay? In many cases. And I know some of you are going to want to debate that, but the numbers don't lie. Okay? And Mayweather, Canelo, a lot of people like this, Golovkin, some of the highest paid boxers are fighting in the States, besides Joshua. But the rest of the highest paid boxers are fighting in the States. So it's logical to believe and understand that it's more money fighting in the States, how it's set up, okay, to produce a lot of revenue and money for boxing. But I hope I didn't get sidetracked. But the thing is about this negotiations for the heavyweight championship, and I'm going to make it real simple. I can knock it off in less than 30 seconds, really. Joshua has 1 belt, the WBC. I'm sorry. Wilder has 1 belt, which is the WBC. Joshua has 3 belts, WBA, IBF, WBO. Here's the easy way to handle this negotiation thing. Now, Wilder ain't going to like it. And so this is perhaps could be used for future situations like this. Wilder has 1 belt. There's 4 belts. Wilder has 1, which should count for 25% of the pie. Joshua has 3, which can count for 75% of the pie. 75, 25. Now, of course, Wilder don't believe he's worth anything less than 50%, which we know he speak it, believe it, and think he going to receive it, but we motherfucking doubt it. Okay, Wilder? You haven't even sold out the Staples Center yet, and you a month away from a title fight with Tyson Fury. Okay? So both of you are Dawsers. Okay? So, Wilder has 1 belt. That means you can get 25%. Joshua, 75% since he has 3 belts. Now say a situation come up where Joshua or any other fighters, whatever, you got one guy who got, say, 2 belts. And one guy got 2 belts, 50-50 split. And so on and so on. Okay? That's just, and if a guy doesn't have no belt and one has 80, then hey, depending on the popularity of this guy who's coming up with no belts and how many people he draw, and then that can be another platform that can be used for that table. But basing the percentages off how many belts a person has, if it's dealing within champions, could be used pretty good. And let the rematch clause be inside the fight, okay? So if the guy with the 25% for both ways. So if the guy with the 25% wins, okay, then it flip-flops. It can flip-flop. So the guy with the 25% wins, okay, and he has the 4 belts, and say Joshua has, or Wilder has 4 belts and Joshua has none belts, then Joshua gets 25%, or Wilder get 75%. Or if Joshua wins, but there's a rematch clause, guess what? It stays the same. Wilder, even though he doesn't have a belt, and Joshua now has all 4, Joshua gets 75%, Wilder still gets no less than 25%. So it's many ways that that can work out, okay? And that maybe can end some confusion, and maybe the boxing heads of the world, the shot callers, can see this video and maybe use it for future negotiations with any fighter anywhere around the globe, every weight class, and you could say, thank you, Myron Magnus, for presenting this pretty logical idea. All right? Beautiful spirits, I appreciate you guys, all right? In every way, shape possible. This is Magnus, manifesting altruistic greatness now, uniting spirits. You listen to a segment of pure pugilism, a.k.a. Boxing Logic. One love.